Those distant hills there are the Isle of Mull, and this is Loch Aline in the Morven Peninsula. We're about 15 miles northwest of Oban, and the loch leads on to the Sound of Mull, and beyond the narrows that you can see in the distance there, Tobermory is about 15 miles up to our right, and Oban the same distance out there and down to the left. I'm in the Hyde at the head of Loch Aline on the Aline estuary. It's 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning in early December, and there's been a very sharp frost followed by a beautiful sunlit day, and I'm here looking at the birds in the area, and we'll focus in on them shortly.
Out of the front of the Hyde here we can see a few mallard there, quite a number of those, upending in the shallows where the fresh water meets the salt. And here we have a mute swan, one of a pair actually, but I haven't yet fathomed how to make the field big enough to see both of them with this camera. Down here we've got a green shank that's busily probing its bill into the soft sand.
Down here in amongst the mallard, that small bird right in the foreground, which will probably disappear by diving, it just has done so, is a dabchick, or a little grebe, which species come in here from time to time, generally speaking on passage elsewhere, but this one still being here in December is perhaps slightly unusual. There it is, up and down again. Very characteristic behaviour, constantly diving, searching for food. We're just in front of Castle Cottage here at Ardtornish, which is one of the cottages that we rent out, and particularly it's popular amongst bird watchers for obvious reasons.
There's a slightly better view, which I've just lost, there we are, of the widgeon keeping busy out there in those tufts of seaweed, always searching. Very, very busy little duck.
And further out over there, on the edge of the loch itself rather than the estuary here, there's a variety of other birds, too far away to see well with this camera, but nonetheless easy to see with the telescope and the binoculars. Herons, some herring gulls, oyster catcher, redshank and curlew, and on the loch further away again there are a couple of red-breasted mergansers. We haven't seen the other thing that you often see from here, more in the mammal line, the otter, which often plays in the freshwater here in the estuary, and I suspect gets fairly well fed by both migrating and resident fish. We're very lucky to have this hide. It was made, I think, to his own design by Allan, who lives and works here at Ardtornish, and it's really transformed the opportunity to sit here quietly, relaxing in some comfort, looking at birds rather than peeking out from behind a tree, which is what we normally would have done historically. The camera's about to go through the sun here, so it might be a bit blinding, but it just gives a good sense of the panoramic views you get from this amazing position that Allan chose to put it, with Castle Cottage over there and the sea pool of the Aline beneath us here. It's got 3 windows that give you at least a 180-degree outlook, and it's a great success, very popular, and big improvement on the opportunities for bird watching previously. So very many thanks indeed to Allan for doing it entirely at his own initiative. And there's Allan's hide from the other side of the river, just standing beside Castle Cottage there, looking out over the estuary from the loch side. And just to pan around, there's the hide nestling in the trees, very discreet. There in the distance is Ardtornish house, and there on the far side of the head of the loch here is the old boathouse. So here's Allan, the hero of the hide fame, who I spoke of a few minutes ago, chopping some trees down on the loch side on Sunday afternoon.